Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. This is Hot Pursuit.
First up, we really just want to hear about this latest purchase of yours. This the car, the white
it's a big
car,
one.
The special one. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us, first of all, had you been looking for a GTO? Where did you see this? What's the story behind the purchase?
Sure. The thing about it is, I didn't even think about buying a GTO, dreaming about GTO, any of that, because 250 GTO to me was just way beyond like any attainable situation. I mean, people might say the cars that I have now, the supercars, are unattainable or dream cars. But I did dream about those cars. My 288 GTO was my high school dream car when I saw it in the Road and Track magazine. I wanted to have it. I didn't think I could really be able to have it. Now, I obviously have red and yellow in it. But, in all the supercars, I just kind of was focusing on that and trying to get that and having the set of the red and yellow and, of course, the new. And then the new stuff like the SP3s and things like that, SF90XX Spider. But I never could, was thinking about a 250 GTO. Matter of fact, I did, and I've been looking for a long time for a 250 short wheelbase, and because I thought, well, that's maybe something I can find, but I never, found the right one or whatever. But it wasn't.
There aren't that many of them.
No, there isn't. But I love the short wheelbase. Short wheelbase California obviously seemed like okay, but I never thought about the 250 GTO. But I did. My people reminded me. He goes, "Hey, David, look at the video in Pebble Beach last year in August in Monterey. I was walking through the Ferrari lawn at Casa Ferrari, and I saw some GTOs And I remember that I think Maycom was already at that time promoting that there's John Shirley's Blanca Speciale white 250 GTO. So I was just like, oh yeah, maybe I'll get that. Maybe that'll be something. Like honestly, I wasn't even serious about it. I was just like, okay, whatever. And so I mentioned that. I forgot about it. And then as I was getting close to the auction. My people, Kevin Cohen said, hey, the GTO is going to be in Las Vegas. I think Maycom has something in Las Vegas. Well, what do you think? I said, okay, well, let's, go out there. I'll send my mechanic, Mike, out there to check out the car, see if it's how legit it is, know everything about it.
What did you tell him to look for at that point? Well, what did you say to him?
Yeah. I mean, in my experience, and obviously I have a number of classic road Ferraris, but it's important, and I I pay my share dues of buying the wrong ones.
We talked about that. I love these stories.
Yeah, and so I wanted to send the smart way is always to send your guy, if you have a guy, to check it out. To see how it's restored, if it's restored, see if all the parts are. The original parts or the right parts on the car, see if the car starts up and if there's any problems with that, see all the blemishes that are on there and underneath the car as well. So my guys have been trained so well that they checked out everything, and coming back I knew the condition of the car, and that's really important because the condition of the car dictates the price. It dictates the price of the car. It's not just one model, it's all the same prices. It dictates that and so forth. So, and all the stuff that comes with, what is all the parts that comes with. And so I knew everything about it. And it was worth sending them out to do that research.
Did they come back
so what
to
did
you
they
yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Matt.
what did they say? I mean, we know, everyone knows the result because I think it's the certainly most famous car purchase, at least this year. So you say the condition dictates the price. Is that how you got it for 38? Is that a good price, do you feel?
Well, first of all, 38 was a good price. I believe this car, with the condition that I've seen, is definitely a $60-70 million worth car. Now, there could be a lot of reasons where perhaps maybe the buyers for those cars were not at the auction, were not the right time in the year, or perhaps the venue that they're used to going to buy these cars, which could be the situation. But, so understanding this too, 250 GTO was a race car, right? It was a race car. It was a very special race car because prior to that, the 250 short wheelbase was doing very successful in all the tracks. The 250 GTO, why it's so special is Ferrari at that time was the first time they engaged the Pisa University to study the car, how to make it more aerodynamic, using aerodynamic to it besides a big engine and the light weights and everything. But and wind tunnels and everything to make the car more special, more aerodynamic, faster, better performance, and which is very special. Race cars back then, again, they were, they change out engines, they blow up engines in the races, they crash, they get fixed, they get repainted. It's all part of the natural course. So when people say, maybe it didn't have the original engine, although this one, John Shirley brought it back, had Ferrari make a new engine, a perfectly spec'd out engine, Casa K, which is important, the Red Book. In there, it came with the race engine that it raced in many of the races that they had in history, in period, and the engine that's in there now, it's the Ferrari rebuilt the engine. But the fact that so previous owner painted it red, and then John Shirley painted it white, back to the Ferrari white color. All that really doesn't matter because it's a 250 GTO and it was a race car, so it comes with it comes with the history that it has, which is a lot of cars don't have the original engine. A lot of cars have been crashed and rebuilt or repainted. So, I don't think that was the reason.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times that like anybody who thinks they're going to get a quote unquote completely original race car that doesn't even exist. Because these are, what is it called? The ship of Theseus paradox, where you're constantly replacing the parts of the ship. Yes,
you would, and you would do that, right? I mean, in racing, all the parts. How do you get
racing
advantage?
Is rubbing.
Get more. Yeah. It's you do that, and at that time they weren't thinking, everything has to match and original and everything. I mean, the road cars, I know they do that. People have this road car valuation mentality. But when you come to race cars, it's a totally different mentality, totally different way of looking at it. It's an alloy car, alloy body car. It's 2,000 pounds, 300 horsepower, and there's a lot of other parts that they have, accessory parts that they put on it for when they race. There's a lot of other parts too that they put on it for different races and things that I have. It's like I have a big, two boxes of container of parts that they switch out wheels, they switch out various lights and vents and things like that in order to attack each race. And this car has placed and has been driven by very famous drivers, like Graham Hill. It was one of them, the Triple Crown winner. So it's been raced by important racers. It's been in a lot of important races. It's placed in there, and of course the Model 250 GTO was dominant in that time in all the races. So it's definitely a very and it's the only one painted in white. It's
that's
very
rather special.
Yeah, right-hand drive. There was 8 out of the 36 to a right-hand drive. That's not a problem to drive. Nobody has a problem with.
I wanted to ask you about that.
It wasn't hard. Yeah,
is it difficult?
It wasn't hard to drive. Yeah, not at all.
David, have you driven it yet? Are you going to drive it around California, or will you just keep it in the garage?
No, I've been driving it. I when I received it, I drove it around the block a couple of days, and then a weekend I took it home, which was like a 40-mile drive to home, and I took it to my country club, and where I was playing golf.
Course. I saw that photo.
I drive it. Yeah, I drove it around. I drove around the whole time. I went to some of my friends, gave a ride, gave my wife a ride, and and cruising around all over.
Can you tell us what? Yes, sorry to interrupt. Can you just give us a sense of what does it feel like to drive? What is the personality? You drive so many different cars. What is the personality? Because everybody says these cars are magical, really magical to drive. What is the personality of this car?
Sure. Well, I really did get to understand that and know the difference because, I have a 250 Lusso Competition, 275 GTP 4-cam, 330 GTS, 365 GTP 4 Daytona Spider, and a Resto Dino. So I do know classic cars very well. Ferrari classic cars. They're of course steel body, so that's a big difference because this is an alloy body. Again, it's 2,000 pounds, which is very light. It's 300 horsepower. Now, the other thing, you think, okay, well, 300 horsepower. I remember back in the 80s where the supercars were doing 0-60 in 5 seconds, which was a big deal. Wow, 5 seconds, 0-60, the Lamborghinis or whatever, the cars. This car in 1962 was already doing 5 seconds. It's a race car, so it's not, it's got disc brakes, the balance and the suspension, everything is it's like a race car, so it's very tight. It's not like very like a boat or very kind of it's not very big. I mean, a lot of people when they see it, they go, "Oh, it's kind of small." It's not a big car, and so it really, the driving experience is amazing. Of course, the gearbox, the gearbox, the gated gearbox is tremendous. The power on the car and the sound is tremendous. But I think it's because it's a race car and the way it's built, the aerodynamic that was designed into it. It's a race car, but also a road car that you can drive home after a race. That feeling is the best classic car I've ever driven. Like, just
really
it's there. It's all there. Yeah. I mean, the suspension is tight, and everything is just all there, man.
I look at so I've been watching you, like I said, for many years on YouTube. I love the videos you've done on your 250 Lusso because I especially love the livery. It's the white one with the like Italian flag colors over the middle. And how does it compare to that? Like, I don't know much about Ferraris. Hannah's the expert there and also on classic cars. But to me, I always thought 250 is 250. Like the Ferris Bueller car must be the same as your Lusso, must be the same as the GTO. Right. I've only recently learned that there are differences, but how do they compare to you? You've driven more than one, so.
Yeah, so my 250 Lusso Competition, the 250 Lusso was never really a race car, but people brought it back to kind of soup it up to have a lot of race parts, and then they raced it anyway. So mine was one of them, but So the setup of the V12 Colombo engine, the 6-carb engine, is the setup on my 250 Lusso is, I guess you can say is very similar. I had a regular Lusso and it was much slower. But I would say the closest to this 250 GTO is my 250 Lusso Competition. But still, everything else, the weight of the car because it's steel instead of alloy, the suspension. The gearbox, just the way it's designed, with the aerodynamic, it still drives like a world of difference, compared to my 250 Lusso Competition. So it's, I mean, when you drive a classic car, you're gonna say, oh, okay, you can it kind of the roll or the turning and the brake. Well, my 250 Lusso Competition is drum brakes. This is already using disc brakes.
Advanced.
Back then. I mean, it's very ahead of its time. It was built with race car technology, unlike all the other road cars that I have.
That's so cool. David, we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, I really want to get into your origin story with how you got involved with all of these cars. So more with David Lee after this.
We are back with David Lee, a Ferrari collector and jeweler extraordinaire. And David, we're talking about your recent purchase of a 250 GTO, which is seen as like the pinnacle of car collecting, as far as I understand it, as a newbie, right? I'm kind of I'm a layman here, but is it the ultimate car that a Ferrari collector can attain? I mean, are you a little worried that after the honeymoon is over here, like there's nowhere else for you to go?
Yeah, first of all, I think the 250 GTO is, to all car collecting, the holy grail and the end game of collecting. It just, I don't know, it just probably is. It's been the most expensive car sold at auction. I mean, even my car, I think, is probably the fifth most in the record of fifth most expensive car sold at auction. But I think, but certainly for Ferrari, yeah, I mean, it's really the holy grail. It's really the end game. It's really like, what do you collect after this? I mean, but I always think that, and always something surprises me, like, oh, something comes up, wow, I gotta have that, or I want to have that. But I can't imagine it right now. I mean, because this is like, I'm still, wow, this is incredible. I really have a 250 GTO. It's only 36, and 33 in Series 1, and like just the most famous guys in the world has this, in their possession. And I have you met the other guys, David? Do you know Nick Mason from Pink Floyd? I don't know Nick Mason. I do plan to. I look forward to meeting them, because every 5 years there's a 250 GTO reunion, and I know next year, 2027 will be the next one. I think it would be the 65-year reunion. So I look forward to meeting them. And matter of fact, but I do know Chip Connor and John Hoy, and which has one. And I know when I won the auction, they called me and congratulated me, and it was really really glad that. And they said all the kind of the car community was really glad that I got it, and because and they welcomed me to the fraternity of the 36 that have it. That
is some rare air.
Yeah,
I have to say, I will say that when I heard it was you, I was very happy too.
Cool.
And when I think about it, you are the only Ferrari collector that I actually know of. I'm thinking, besides Glickenhaus, I guess he counts also, because of the content that you put out and because of what you share. And that's what I think is so great, because you share your joy and your passion. And when I watch your videos, it's like so clear that you're in love with these vehicles and that you really care and you want to show them to the rest of the world. Like, what do you plan on doing with this? Are you going to use it in your business? Are you going to use it in your philanthropy? What are your ideas or your hopes of utilizing this 250
right.
GTO?
So Matt, first of all, thank you for saying that. It is interesting, because I think I'm a modern collector, a modern car collector, that is somebody that have collected a 250 GTO, the supercars, and the new cars. I guess what in my collecting as a modern collector, to be in the three categories, all three categories of collecting is quite rare, because usually, let's say,
yes,
the guys that have 250 GTO, they just do the classic cars, or the new guys have just the new cars, and very seldom do you have somebody that cross all boundaries to have all the different cars, and that just means that you understand the car from its origin, from 1962 to the present, which I do, and so that's kind of rare that that's that, and of course so what was my purpose? I think I want to bring people to, it's a rare car, a lot of people don't even see it and stuff. I want to be able to bring that experience of me discovering about the car, enjoying the car, and kind of put that on online, so that other people can experience it through that through that experience. I want to bring it to concourses, car shows. I mean, a car show, local car show, I might roll up in it, and then people will be like, "What?"
That would be really
I roll
rare.
up in the car show. I do that. I already have a spot on Jay Leno's garage in April. We're gonna go, and Jay's gonna drive with me and do that. I have concourses that I'm already kind of signed up for. Also, because everything I do with synergy. So my business has a lot of synergy with being like this Saturday. I have a Cars and Chronos But what the cool thing is, it's going to be the unveiling of the 250 GTO. So, people are going to drive their cars. They're going to be in my lot and socialize and meet. And at some point, I'm going to open my garage and I'm going to allow people to come and see all my cars, of course, including the 250 GTO. So I let people have access to the cars, and which I think people appreciate. And I'm just not like, I'm super scared, I'm not going to let anybody see it. And I do plan to. You mentioned the philanthropy. I do plan to, give rides to, Make a Wish or other different charity functions or functions that raise money for charity. If that helps to bring awareness and bring people to support these kind of philanthropy charities and nonprofits, I don't mind doing it if I have the time to do it. I do plan to use that. So
you do mentor young men as well, don't you? That's part of your. Is that more a business, on the business side of things?
Well, I'm on the board of the USC Business School, so I give back and I guest speak at USC in the business classes. I do have a mentorship, a professional mentorship program that successful young entrepreneurs have joined. I have 20 mentees right now that I coach them weekly to about business, but about life too, and about what's important about life and what's life about, but about business and me and a senior USC professor. We both do it together as kind of a really giving back. But so those people that join our Titan Education Inner Circle, I think they're getting a lot out of it. They really love it, and the group has become very tight themselves.
And they'll get to see white 250 GTO with the right-hand drive.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they definitely could do.
Can you give us a little background on your family? Obviously, you are the owner of Hingwali Group. Was a family business, right? Can you tell us about how have you arrived at this position to be able to afford these cars and to be mentoring? Sure. Give us some of your background and what you learned from. I'm assuming it was your father who passed the business down to you.
So I'll share with that. So just to kind of put out there, a lot of people say, hey, how did you afford this car? Is it drugs or laundry money or whatever? No, none of that. None of that is happening. It's through hardworking, making money, doing business, grinding to achieve that. But anyways, I'll give you the background. We're from Hong Kong. We're Chinese. We're from Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong, but I immigrated here when I was very young. But we were always going both coasts. And my father in 1965 started a gemstone carving manufacturing in Hong Kong, and so he was doing that. And eventually, in the early 80s, we immigrated to U.S. We were selling, selling the gemstone carvings and maybe fine jewelry, jade jewelry, and in a wholesale capacity. To other retail jewelers like us throughout the United States. We've done that in the 80s. I think my father was successful in that because the 80s was very strong economically. And so he had done that. He had bought a lot of real estate, very conservative, my father was. And when I joined the business in 1990 after graduating from USC Business School, I joined it during the worst kind of a bad recession. It was probably the worst one since the subprime, and so I joined the family business as a second generation. But then it was people I was going around were not making money because people were couldn't afford. The economy was bad. They weren't buying stuff. The jewelers or if they buy, they couldn't pay. So I had to come up with a new plan. After a year of working with my dad, I suggested, hey, why don't we change to retail? Because retail, it's cash and carry. You don't have the risk there, and you can kind of control your smaller local demographic better with marketing. And so he says, okay, let's do that, but you have to run it. It will be your gig, and you have to run it because I'm kind of tired. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to, because it was not. This was something we never done before retail. Actually, we were in wholesale and manufacturing. So I said yes, I'll do it. So I, started in that. Found a store, built the store, hired people. We've never had so many people working for us before. I had to, at that time the company was small. I had to be the sales manager. I put my sales manager hat on. I put my marketing hat on. Put my accounting hat on. My purchasing hat on, and all that. I had to wear all the hats. Work 7 days a week. I opened the store first. I closed the store at night. Didn't really have a life, and just crying out. But what I did, what I was thinking was, I'm not gonna let my dad down. He says, okay, do this, and I'm not gonna let my family down. I'm not gonna failure was not an option to me. So I just grind that, and so in 1993 is when I opened the store. So I've been at this for quite a long time, over 30 something years, but with I was able to get the Rolex franchise for the Chinese market or the Asian market in the San Gabriel Valley, which is a strong market, with Rolex in 1995, and that was a very special moment, a change in the milestone of our business, and other brands start coming and wanting us to represent them. So we represented more than 25 different really luxury high-end brands. We started expanding, and at some point we also said, we don't want to rent the store from landlords to have our store. We want to, own and build our own stores. I think that was a very important element. So all our stores right now, stores and offices, is our own property, because when you pay every month, let's say a rent, you can be paying mortgage instead of rent, and you would own the property, and then as time goes by, the property appreciates. So that's also what people don't understand, because there's a lot of jewelers, but a lot of times they rent, and all the money they pay every month is gone. The biggest expense to a retailer is the employee payroll. Second is the rent. So it's a big number, but so we were able to do that. But I think through my through me being on the helm, and of course, I own the company, have owned the company now for quite some time. I was able to diversify where my father was a little more conservative. I was diversified into, the investment of cars, investment into tech, investment into other entrepreneurial companies, and then growing my company. So I think the Hing Wilder Group, as together, the retail, the real estate, and the investment side all come together is after 35 years, it's become quite a strong company. And I'm happy to say my son will be have committed to join as a third.
I was just going to ask if you're passing it on to the next generation.
Yeah,
so what is,
we're lucky. We're really lucky.
What is your son most interested in? Does he like the watches? Does he like the cars, the investment, the real estate? Yeah. What's his gig?
So okay, yeah. So I'll tell you, he graduated from USC undergrad, which was great for business school. He worked for a few years for a big corporate, and now he's at Wharton, UPenn Wharton for his MBA. He's got 2 years there, and then he'll come back. And so he'll be fully equipped to handle everything. But he is into the watches. A lot of my friends, they have successful business, but their kids don't want to take over their dad's business. It's kind of boring. It's not sexy or whatever. The tech is really drawing a lot of people to want to do that. We're not a tech company. We do have a tech component because we invest, but he likes the watches, because watches is popular right now with everybody, with all the young people, and so that side kind of has encouraged him to want to be part of the business.
So
that's awesome.
Let's take a break here. We're going to have one more quick pause, and then more with David Lee right after this.
We're back with David Lee, and we're hearing, initially we wanted to talk about the Ferrari 250 GTO, and I think we got enough out of the way. I'm fascinated in the business, and just as I'm not deep into the watches either, but I love a nice watch. I prefer to wear, I have a Sea Dweller that my wife got me when I turned 50, which is cool because it's also the 50th anniversary edition. So like me and the watch turned 50 at the same time. What is interesting to you just quickly in the watch world, because we know you love the Ferraris. I've seen your 250 Lusso and the 275, the 330, the 365 and all. What do you like in terms of watches, or what is your son like if he's more the expert on the horological side?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny. Car guys and watch guys are many times are the same, because just as cars are mechanical, and the way you look at it and appreciate it and buy it and everything, the watch is the same. It's also mechanical. So mechanical, the brand has a certain DNA, just like the cars, certain brands have DNA. The functions, a watch can be really high function, complicated, which that's the area I like. I like the high complication watches to see what a human workmanship and and technology can make. Yeah, and cars, watches can do that as well as cars. So it's very aligned. It's very easy to appreciate a fine watchmaking. If you appreciate cars, or the other way around, if you appreciate watches, you appreciate cars. I just see that really merging.
Do you have to be brand agnostic because you represent so many brands, or can you tell us a couple of your favorites?
Oh, I think Rolex, I really do appreciate Rolex. Rolex is almost like the Mercedes of watches, right? It does, it's high branding, the name is so good. The quality is unbelievable. I went to the Rolex factory, and the way they go through the R&D and making it's unbelievable. And so, and they got the two sides. You got the manufacturing is the German side of the Swiss people, and then the marketing is the French side of the Swiss people. So like they got it covered.
Best of both.
They got it covered. And so they're great. I think they're great. I think Breguets are really great. Blancpain's really really great. I think Cartier also makes a great product.
I love Cartier.
They're just so good. I think the way I would recommend to people is that it's not just only one brand. It depends on what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for a sport watch, or you're looking for a dress watch, or you're looking for kind of a daily watch, or you're looking for something that's really high complication, I can steer you to a brand that's good for that, and it's not just one brand that, it's the best of everything. There's no one brand that's best of everything. So that's why I represent 25 different brands.
Wow. Well, David,
I'm going to too. Yeah.
Say that last part. I missed it.
I said there's also different price points too, right? Let's say, for example, you like Rolex, but it's a little bit over your price range. Or a Tudor, which is a brand that they make, is a sister brand. It's the same technology, but it looks very similar. It's priced a lot lower, so for people to afford, but it's got the same Rolex technology. Tudor, for example. So that's kind of cool.
Yes, it is.
David, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. We've been talking a lot about what we think is the car of the century, Matt and me, because I'm writing a story about what I'm going to call the car of the century, the car that's had the most impact since 2000. And I'd love to know, if you had to say your car of the century, what would that be? It could obviously be with anything. It doesn't have to be a Ferrari. We'd love to know what you would think.
So it would be a car that is built after the 2000, you mean?
Yes. Okay. That's the tricky part. It can't be a beautiful.
It's the last 26 years. So which car you think is the most important?
There's so many.
The most important vehicle in the last 26 years.
Well, let me think about this for a second. Wow, there's so many that's coming to mind right now. It's like,
we're not going to hold you to it. You can say
I had the same thing. Yeah. She asked me live on air last week, and it took me a second. I had to go through a few guesses before I came up with my ultimate answer.
Can I have a couple? And the reason why?
Please.
Yes.
Please.
All right. So I would say one is the. I'm sorry. I know. I guess I immersed myself in Ferrari. So I only know Ferrari really well. I don't know the others really well. So I would have to. It would have to be a Ferrari for me. I would say two cars. I'm thinking right now off my top of my head. One is the SP3. The SP3 is because it's part of the Icona series. There's SP1, SP2, and then the SP3, and it's a V12 naturally aspirated mid-engine, mid-position engine, carbon fiber chassis, but the design of it looks so beautiful, and people right now, I would think if you did a survey, most people would say that's their favorite Ferrari that Ferrari came out with. It's not the fastest, because it's not about being fast, it's or highest performance, but it's about the nostalgic and the nostalgic feeling of the car, which this SP3 is, and so that I would say that one has a big impact on today's generation right now, and for Ferrari and so forth. The other one would be the F80, which is the newest, the sixth supercar. That for our made in the supercar family. Now, the supercar family for Ferrari, every 10 years they come out with the ultra high performance a car to kind of to celebrate their anniversary every 10 years. The sixth supercar F80 is a car that is, believe it or not, now V6 turbo with electric engine, hybrid combining together. To give, I don't know, like 1,200 horsepower or something. The aerodynamic is really in place to give it the highest edge of performance. The technology they use, borrowing from F1 to place in this road car, is also really revolutionary. It may not, to a lot of people, look like the prettiest cars, because a lot of times the most aerodynamic cars are not the prettiest cars. But it will perform to the crazy situation. A lot of people, well, it's not a V12 or anything. The new technology, the new engineering doesn't have to be a V12. It's a V6 engine, and it's going to produce so much horsepower and performance that I think is going to be the car that defines the generation going forward.
I love these.
David, what do you think about that? What do you think about that progression from, a beautiful design, a V12 with carbs, a gated shifter, to now we're at Ferrari just sells you like a box of computer chips that drives itself. Like, it doesn't even have to be something you own. It's an NFT. It can be just like in the interwebs. Like, how come you're okay with them, getting away from the mechanical intimacy and embracing just like technological supremacy? Yeah.
Well, I think Ferrari is first of all, the racing is very important to them. Being the best and the fastest and the highest performance. I think, but
they don't win. They're
I
not
know,
the best.
They make their best effort, but they're still short of it.
I think they're trying.
Yeah, but but I'm just saying that's important to them. That's important. Mm-hmm. And then filtering into the road cars, that they want to make it also high performance and so, what is that? Where do they get the highest performance? It's the hybrid. Maybe it's even the all electric, right? Which are, people are like, wow, how can Ferrari be doing that? But that's why they came out with another line, this Icona series, which is the SP1, SP2, and SP3. And they're going to come out with the SP4. I heard it was, the rumors are saying it's kind of a redo of the F40, but with gated shifters. They're bringing back the gated shifters, manual drive. And again, those are not the fastest cars, but it's cars that we're going to enjoy driving. We don't want the fastest car right now. I mean, Tesla is plenty fast, but I don't. That's not a car that I like, right? I want to have more engagement and with the car, which is why I actually like the classic cars. I mean, the 250 G2, I like it because there's no computers. It's all you driving. It's all your technique. It's a heel and toe, because there's no synchro on the shifting. All the gauges is important. You got to watch all the gauges, because if it overheats or something is too hot, the car is gonna have a problem. You have to watch all that, and when you drive that car on the track or anywhere, you're the pilot. You have to be the one fully engaged to do that. There's no computer that's gonna make it semi-drivable for you. And so I like that, and so and I think a lot of people like that too. Maybe not to the extent that I do, but they still want to be able to control their car and not let it be fully automatic. So, but I think Ferrari in today's, being a publicly held company, the pressures from the Wall Street and the stockholders, they want to have more product, and they are definitely having more product to meet more the various demands of the people. It's people that want electric cars, people that will hybrid, people that want. But you do see in the auctions a lot of the cars have gone up in price. I knew the 458 was always going to go up. The 430 Scuderia, the 360 Challenge cars, a lot of those cars have gone up in because they're still not the hybrid or with the computers and everything. They still have a lot of just a visual feeling to it, and so those prices of those cars are going up because of that reason. So I think you're going to continue to see that. Yeah, I mean it's they're trying to obviously reach more of the masses of the various people's likings.
Do you think they'll come back with, like, I figured a Roma or an Amalfi would be a perfect car to put a gated shifter back in for the masses, and I say that in air quotes because obviously not everybody can afford a $200,000 or $300,000 car, but I would like some access, not just the Icona series, but their daily driver should be offered with 3 pedals.
Right. The thing is, Matt, as you know, a lot of young people, they don't even know how to drive stick shift right now, manual transmission. So I don't know if that represents the mass right now. And believe it or not, a lot of young people, I mean, I know from my kids, they don't even like to drive. They just call it Uber, and that's like, they just want to go from A to B. What's the fastest? They don't have to worry about it. They don't even know how to like. I mean, it depends so much on the GPS. To tell them how to go somewhere. Like they don't know how to do it themselves. Without GPS, they don't know how to go anywhere. And so it's a different mentality of how they are. So I think it's a certain market that likes the manual drive, like you and I do, the stick shift and stuff. And I think that's why, unfortunately, as I heard, they're not gonna offer that to like Porsche that do offer, which is cool. But Ferrari's not going to offer those in their regular production cars, and they're like doing us a favor to give it to us in the Icona.
They're telling us we should be grateful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, David Lee, thank you so much for your time. We are thrilled to have you here. Please come back and educate us more. We need it.
Oh, sure. Anytime. I love to.
I really appreciate it as well. Thank you so much.
That does it for this week's show. Remember to follow and subscribe to Hot Pursuit on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen. You can also send us your comments by emailing us at hotpursuit@bloomberg.net. And you can check out my columns and stories on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. Go there for car reviews, events, and stories that you won't find anywhere else. Find it all at Bloomberg.com/pursuits/autos. I'm Hannah Elliott, along with Matt Miller. We'll be back in your podcast feed again next week.